Hey guys, Alex here. Today I want to go over how the stock market is going to be affected right now by this election that's about to end today and where it's going to go into the future of the end of the year and next year as well. So let's get into it. So just want to get into some of the history behind what happens after an election with the stock market. Pretty much what happens is usually the president that is in office right now, if they happen to win and get reelected, we usually see a bigger gain in the stock market than the new president coming in if they had won. And usually on average the S&P 500 from the presidential election to the end of the year usually has about around a 2% return. Now the reason I want to talk about this subject is that I think it's pretty obvious that in today's world right now, at least 2020, it's been a crazy year for the stock market. President Trump hasn't really been affecting it too much, but he has over the past 3 years before COVID-19. Why do I say that President Trump hasn't really affected the market is because there has been a lot of fluctuation just because of COVID. We've had the trade wars and a bunch of other things as well. Now, if President Trump does win, hopefully we don't see too much of a fluctuation as he is the current president right now and he would be serving for another 4 years. So hopefully the stock market wouldn't tank too much after his re-election, although it's really hard to say, especially with all the things that are going on right now, and people are saying that rioting might happen, so we're really gonna have to wait and see. Now, if Joe Biden does win, it may affect the stock market a little bit more, especially because we don't really know his points on the stock market. He hasn't really had his hands on it like Donald Trump has, so we'll have to kind of see how that goes, but it's likely that we may see a slight decrease in the market. Now, regardless on which president does get into office, whether Trump stays or Biden gets in, it's hard to say really what's going to happen because COVID over the past month has been rising case over case over case. More deaths spread out. A lot of foreign countries are going back into a lockdown. So the United States is in a very hard place right now. That means that we could see another drop in the market. We don't really know how much. We know that around the middle of October, the stock market started to kind of tank. Election coming in, COVID cases rising, other countries, foreign countries, they are starting to lock down and things are getting much worse. And we still don't have a cure for the virus or anything like that. So personally, what I think is that we may see a potential crash. It's really hard to say. Probably nowhere near what happened earlier on in the beginning of the year in February, but we're going to see a slight decrease and potentially another V-shaped recovery like we did before. Of course, this all really depends on how we handle COVID. If COVID does get worse, then we'll see that drop. Now, if we can't control COVID in the States and we go into a V-shaped recovery again, it's definitely not going to bounce as fast as it did last time. Clearly, the cases are higher, the stakes are higher, so we really need to take the time to get things back and running in the country, and it won't be so much as a panic sell, but so much as a slower growth moving up because we had such a rapid recovery before, and it was because everything was so chaotic. No one knew what was going on. Everyone was getting sick. So we have a better understanding of the virus now, so it shouldn't be affected as much. We probably will see that drop, but like I said, I think the recovery will be a lot slower this time, as it should have been. It should never have been this rapid. Not that it's not a good thing for a lot of these investors, but it is also kind of dangerous as well because we're hitting all-time highs when we really shouldn't be. I just want to go over healthcare. I think this sector in the stock market is pretty significant, and whichever candidate does win will affect that sector pretty heavily. Now, President Trump, he does want to get rid of Obamacare, which would leave a lot of people out of healthcare, but that's not what he wants to do. He wants to replace it with something better, and it's hard to say if that's even possible right now. We really wouldn't know until the election's done because at the end of the day, once the election's done, we know if a president will do something or he doesn't. Now, if he somehow can get rid of that and bring in a better healthcare system, it would benefit the overall sector as hopefully it would be more affordable and it would have more coverage. Now, if Joe Biden does win, he will be trying to keep Obamacare for everybody, except he's going to try and make it better for everyone, just like Trump wants to do. If he gets rid of Obamacare, he wants to create this better healthcare plan and stuff like that. So regardless who wins, we'll still have some kind of healthcare package. It's just hard to know the details of it right now because everything will have to get passed, of course. Well, I hope you guys found this video informative. It's going to be a crazy week with this election ending. Can't wait to see who wins. I think it's going to change a lot of things or just make things really chaotic. So stay tuned. I'll probably have more videos coming up this week about it, and thank you.